Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were once Hollywood's ultimate power couple, glamorous, talented, and seemingly destined for a fairy tale romance. Their love story began with instant chemistry on the set of Days of Thunder, leading to a whirlwind marriage that captivated the world. Together, they starred in films, adopted children, and dominated red carpets. But behind the dazzling facade, their relationship was filled with struggles, Scientology, career pressures, and personal differences that ultimately led to a shocking divorce. From their passionate beginnings to their heartbreaking split, this is the untold story of Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise's rise and fall as a couple.
A turbulent childhood, Hollywood dreams, and his fateful meeting with Nicole Kidman. Tom Cruise's journey to Hollywood stardom began far from the glitz and glamour of red carpets. Born Thomas Cruise Mapother IV on July 3, 1962, in Syracuse, New York, he grew up in a working-class family that faced constant financial struggles. His father, Thomas Cruise Mapother III, was an electrical engineer, while his mother, Mary Lee, worked as a special education teacher. Cruise's early years were marked by instability, as his family moved frequently due to his father's job, living in various cities across the United States and Canada. This nomadic lifestyle made it difficult for young Cruise to form lasting friendships, and he often found himself as the new kid in school, struggling to fit in. Adding to the challenges of his upbringing, Cruise suffered from dyslexia, which made academics a constant battle. Reading was difficult for him, and he was often ridiculed by classmates and misunderstood by teachers. His father, whom he later described as a merchant of chaos, was reportedly abusive, creating a tense and often painful home environment. This instability culminated in his parents' divorce when he was just 12 years old. Following the separation, Cruise, his mother, and his three sisters relocated to Kentucky, where his mother worked multiple jobs to support the family. Despite their struggles, Cruise's mother remained a strong influence in his life, encouraging him to chase his dreams and build a future beyond their hardships. During his teenage years, Cruise initially considered joining the priesthood and even enrolled in a Franciscan seminary at age 14. However, his interest in religion soon faded, and he developed a passion for performance, particularly in sports and drama. He was a talented athlete, excelling in wrestling, but a knee injury forced him to reconsider his path. It was during this time that he discovered acting, a pursuit that would change his life forever. Encouraged by a teacher, he took part in a high school play and found himself drawn to the stage. For the first time, he felt a sense of purpose and belonging, realizing that acting allowed him to channel his emotions and escape the difficulties of his past. At 18, Cruise made the bold decision to move to New York City to pursue a career in acting. He worked odd jobs to support himself while attending auditions, determined to make a name for himself. His dedication paid off when he landed a small role in Endless Love, 1981, followed by a supporting role in Taps, 1981. His undeniable charisma and on-screen intensity quickly caught the attention of Hollywood executives, leading to his breakout role in Risky Business, 1983. This film cemented his status as a rising star, paving the way for his meteoric rise in the film industry. It was this relentless drive and ambition that ultimately led Cruise to Days of Thunder, where he would meet the woman who would become his first great love, Nicole Kidman. Their instant chemistry led to a whirlwind romance, and soon they became Hollywood's golden couple. But while their marriage captivated the world, it was built on a foundation that would eventually crack under the pressures of fame, personal differences, and Cruise's deep ties to Scientology. Nicole Kidman's journey to stardom, a talented prodigy, Hollywood breakthrough, and her fateful romance with Tom Cruise. While Tom Cruise's early years were marked by instability and hardship, Nicole Kidman's upbringing was quite different. Born on June 20, 1967, in Honolulu, Hawaii, to Australian parents, Kidman was raised in an intellectually driven household. Her father, Dr. Anthony Kidman, was a respected biochemist and clinical psychologist, while her mother, Janelle Ann, was a nursing instructor and a staunch advocate for women's rights. Although she was born in the United States, her family returned to Australia when she was just a few years old, settling in Sydney. Unlike Cruise, whose childhood was plagued by financial struggles, Kidman grew up in an environment that nurtured education, discipline, and artistic expression. From an early age, Kidman displayed a natural talent for the performing arts. She was drawn to ballet at just 3 years old and later expanded her interests to drama and mime. Encouraged by her parents, she attended Sydney's Lane Cove Public School and later North Sydney Girls High School, where she excelled in academics and performance arts. However, despite her privileged upbringing, Kidman's childhood was not without challenges. Her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer when Kidman was a teenager, which forced her to mature quickly and take on more responsibilities at home. The experience profoundly impacted her, instilling a deep sense of resilience and empathy that would later shape her acting career. As a young girl, Kidman was shy and introverted, often using acting as a way to express herself and escape into different characters. Her striking appearance, tall, pale, and with a head full of unruly red curls, made her stand out, but it also made her feel self-conscious. Despite her insecurities, her passion for acting only grew stronger. She enrolled in the Australian Theatre for Young People, ATYP, and later studied at Sydney's prestigious Phillip Street Theatre, where she honed her craft alongside other aspiring actors. By the time she was a teenager, it was clear that she had something special. Her expressive performances and emotional depth caught the attention of casting directors. At just 16 years old, Kidman landed her first major role in the Australian holiday film Bush Christmas, 1983. This was followed by a string of TV appearances and films, including the critically acclaimed BMX Bandits, 1983, and Vietnam, 1987, for which she won her first major acting award. Her breakthrough role came in 1989 with the psychological thriller Dead Calm, where she played a woman stranded at sea with a dangerous stranger. The film showcased her ability to convey raw emotion and vulnerability, catching the attention of Hollywood producers. It wasn't long before Kidman's rising star led her to Hollywood, where she was cast in Days of Thunder, 1990, alongside Tom Cruise. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and their connection quickly blossomed into a real-life romance. While Kidman had grown up in a supportive intellectual environment, Cruise's intense personality and deep ties to Scientology introduced her to a world vastly different from her own. What began as a passionate love affair would eventually become one of the most scrutinized marriages in Hollywood history. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, a Hollywood love story from on-set romance to power couple. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise's love story began in 1989 when they met on the set of Days of Thunder, a high-octane racing film that was one of the biggest Hollywood productions of that year. Cruise played Cole Trickle, a fearless NASCAR driver, while Kidman took on the role of Dr. Claire Lewicki, a neurosurgeon who becomes his love interest. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and it didn't take long for their connection to turn into a real-life romance. At the time, Cruise was already an established A-list actor, having starred in massive box office hits like Top Gun, Rain Man, and The Color of Money. He was at the peak of his career, one of the most sought-after leading men in Hollywood. Kidman, on the other hand, was still a rising star, fresh off her critically acclaimed performance in Dead Calm, an Australian psychological thriller that had garnered her international attention. For Kidman, meeting Cruise was both exhilarating and overwhelming. She later admitted that she was completely smitten by him from the very beginning, describing him as a charismatic and incredibly passionate man who made her feel seen in a way no one else had before. Their romance developed quickly, fueled by the intensity of working together on a high-profile Hollywood film. By the time Days of Thunder was released in 1990, they were already deeply in love. Just a few months after the film's premiere, the couple took their relationship to the next level, exchanging vows in a private wedding ceremony on December 24, 1990, in Telluride, Colorado. The ceremony was intimate, with only close friends and family in attendance, a stark contrast to the extravagant celebrity weddings that often dominate headlines. However, despite their efforts to keep their wedding private, the moment Cruise and Kidman became husband and wife, they became one of the most talked-about couples in the world. At just 23 years old, Kidman found herself at the center of a Hollywood whirlwind. Marrying Cruise instantly catapulted her into a new level of fame. Suddenly, she was no longer just an up-and-coming actress from Australia. She was the wife of one of the biggest stars in the industry. The early 1990s saw Cruise and Kidman solidify their status as Hollywood's ultimate power couple. Their relationship was marked by grand romantic gestures, public displays of affection, and frequent declarations of love in interviews. Cruise often spoke about how deeply in love he was with Kidman, and she reciprocated with equal passion. Unlike many Hollywood couples who shy away from discussing their personal lives, Cruise and Kidman seemed to embrace the attention, making it clear that their relationship was built on love, admiration, and mutual respect. As their careers flourished, their bond appeared to grow even stronger. They were a constant presence at award shows, red carpet events, and Hollywood galas, always hand in hand. But while their public appearances painted a picture of glamour and perfection, their most cherished moments were the ones spent away from the cameras. Both Kidman and Cruise expressed their desire to build a family together, and in 1992, they took a major step toward that goal by adopting their first child, Isabella Jane. 3 years later, in 1995, they adopted their second child, Connor Anthony. Parenthood was a significant milestone for the couple, and they embraced it wholeheartedly. Despite their demanding careers, Cruise and Kidman made it a priority to provide a loving and stable home for their children. They were frequently photographed on family outings, enjoying vacations, and attending events together as a unit. To the public, they seem to have mastered the art of balancing Hollywood stardom with a fulfilling family life. Their ability to juggle the pressures of fame while maintaining a strong relationship only added to their allure, reinforcing the idea that they were the ultimate Hollywood golden couple. In 1999, Cruise and Kidman embarked on one of the most ambitious and challenging projects of their careers, starring together in Eyes Wide Shut, a psychological drama directed by legendary filmmaker Stanley Kubrick. The film, which explored themes of marriage, desire, and secrecy, was both artistically and emotionally demanding. Kubrick was known for his meticulous directing style, often requiring multiple takes of even the simplest scenes. The production stretched on for nearly 2 years, making it one of the longest and most grueling filming experiences of their careers. While Eyes Wide Shut was anticipated to be a cinematic masterpiece, it also became a focal point of speculation regarding Cruise and Kidman's real-life marriage. The film's intense subject matter, which involved themes of infidelity and psychological unraveling, led many to wonder how it might have affected their own relationship. Given that they were playing a married couple navigating a complex emotional journey, fans and the media alike speculated whether the line between fiction and reality had blurred for them. However, both Cruise and Kidman remained steadfast in their praise for the film and Kubrick's vision, dismissing rumors that the project had put a strain on their marriage. By the end of the decade, Cruise and Kidman had solidified themselves as one of the most powerful and admired couples in Hollywood. They had built a life together that seemed almost untouchable, filled with love, success, and a beautiful family. Their story was one of passion, ambition, and undeniable chemistry. The world was captivated by their journey, from their fateful meeting on the set of Days of Thunder to their rise as Hollywood's most glamorous duo. As they entered the new millennium, the couple continued to be a fixture in the industry, proving that their love story was one for the ages. The breaking point: how Scientology fame and career pressures led to Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's shocking split. As the new millennium began, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's seemingly perfect marriage began to show signs of strain, with various pressures pulling them in different directions. One of the most significant factors affecting their relationship was Cruise's deep involvement in the Church of Scientology. Having been a devoted member since the late 1980s, Cruise was one of the church's most high-profile figures, and his commitment to Scientology only intensified over the years. Reports suggest that the church played a major role in their marriage, with some sources alleging that Scientology officials viewed Kidman as a potential threat due to her Catholic upbringing, and her father's profession as a psychologist, an occupation the church famously opposes. While Kidman initially tried to support Cruise's beliefs, she never fully embraced Scientology, which allegedly created tension between them. There were even rumors that high-ranking Scientology officials actively worked to distance Cruise from Kidman, fearing that she could influence him to drift away from the church. Some sources claim that the church monitored their relationship closely and may have played a role in Cruise's eventual decision to leave her. Kidman, for her part, rarely spoke publicly about the influence of Scientology on their marriage, but in later interviews, she hinted at the struggles she faced. She once mentioned feeling like an outsider within Cruise's world, particularly as Scientology became a dominant force in his life. Some reports suggest that she tried to distance herself and their children from the church, which may have further strained their relationship. Years after their divorce, former high-ranking Scientology members claimed that Kidman was labeled a suppressive person by the church, a term used to describe individuals seen as threats to Scientology. This alleged designation meant that the church sought to sever her ties with its members, including her own adopted children, Isabella and Connor, who were raised within the faith. While Kidman has never confirmed these claims, she has acknowledged that her relationship with her children became more distant over time, adding another layer of heartbreak to the already painful separation from Cruise. Beyond religious differences, the couple also faced the challenges of balancing two highly demanding careers. Both were at the peak of their fame, constantly traveling for film projects, premieres, and press obligations. While Cruise continued to dominate the box office with action-packed blockbusters, Kidman was carving out her own legacy as a serious actress, taking on increasingly complex roles. Their growing professional commitments often kept them apart for long periods, making it difficult to maintain the close bond they once had. In retrospect, Kidman later hinted that their marriage may have been overshadowed by Cruise's immense stardom. As a young actress, she was thrust into the Hollywood spotlight alongside one of the most famous men in the world, which may have created an imbalance in their relationship. She admitted in interviews that, in some ways, she lost a sense of her own identity during their marriage, as everything seemed to revolve around Cruise's career and public image. Despite the pressures of their careers and the tension surrounding Scientology, the couple continued to present a united front in public, until 2001, when everything suddenly changed. In February of that year, Cruise made the shocking decision to file for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The announcement stunned Hollywood, the media, and most significantly, Kidman herself. By all accounts, she had not seen it coming. She later admitted that she was blindsided by Cruise's decision, believing their marriage was still strong. Close friends of Kidman revealed that she had been completely devastated by the split, struggling to understand what had gone wrong. Some reports suggested that Cruise's decision was heavily influenced by Scientology leaders, who allegedly saw Kidman as a threat to his full commitment to the church. The divorce proceedings moved quickly, and by August 2001, their marriage was officially over. The end of their relationship marked the conclusion of what had once seemed like a Hollywood fairy tale. In the years that followed, both Kidman and Cruise took very different paths. Cruise remained deeply involved with Scientology and continued to be one of its most visible figures, while Kidman focused on rebuilding her life and career. Looking back, she described their marriage as an intense, passionate relationship that ultimately couldn't withstand the external pressures surrounding them. Though their love had once been undeniable, forces beyond their control, religion, fame, and personal growth, had ultimately driven them apart. Rumors of infidelity and control issues. As the dust settled on Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's highly publicized divorce, speculation ran rampant about the real reasons behind their split. While their official statement cited irreconcilable differences, many believed there was more beneath the surface. One of the most persistent rumors suggested that Cruise exerted a high level of control over their marriage, dictating aspects of their personal and professional lives. Some reports claimed that Kidman's growing independence, both as an actress and as a person, began to threaten the dynamic of their relationship. In the early years of their marriage, Kidman had often been seen as Cruise's devoted wife, supporting him at events and taking on roles that complemented their Hollywood power couple image. However, as she gained more confidence and took on projects that showcased her own talents, such as Moulin Rouge and the others, the balance in their relationship may have shifted, leading to underlying tensions. Tabloids also fueled speculation with unverified claims of infidelity, though neither Cruise nor Kidman ever confirmed such accusations. Some media outlets suggested that Kidman had grown close to other actors, while others hinted at Cruise's own rumored romantic involvements. However, no concrete evidence ever emerged, and both stars largely avoided addressing these claims directly. Instead, they maintained a dignified silence regarding the specific reasons behind their divorce, leaving room for endless public speculation. One of the most controversial aspects of their separation was the alleged role of the Church of Scientology. Reports from former Scientology members and insiders suggested that the church had actively worked to distance Cruise from Kidman. As previously mentioned, Kidman was never fully accepted within the church due to her Catholic upbringing and her father's profession as a psychologist, an occupation Scientology opposes. Some former high-ranking members have claimed that Kidman was labeled a suppressive person by the church, meaning she was seen as an obstacle to Cruise's spiritual path. If true, this would have placed immense pressure on their marriage, as the church reportedly discourages its members from maintaining relationships with suppressive persons. After the divorce, Kidman's relationship with her two adopted children, Isabella and Connor, reportedly became strained. Raised within the Scientology community, the children remained under Cruise's primary custody and continued their involvement with the church. Over the years, multiple reports surfaced suggesting that their bond with Kidman had weakened, with some claiming that the church had encouraged their distance from her. While Kidman has remained largely private about this aspect of her personal life, she has acknowledged the challenges of maintaining a close relationship with Isabella and Connor. In interviews, she has expressed her unconditional love for them, stating that she respects their choices and beliefs. However, the fact remains that she has been noticeably absent from major milestones in their lives, including Isabella's wedding in 2015, further fueling speculation about their estrangement. Despite these challenges, Kidman has remained resilient, focusing on her career and building a new chapter of her life. While her marriage to Cruise was once a defining part of her public image, she has since established herself as a powerhouse actress in her own right. Meanwhile, Cruise has continued to be one of Hollywood's biggest stars and remains deeply committed to Scientology. Their love story, once considered a fairy tale romance, ultimately became one of Hollywood's most talked about breakups, with unanswered questions and lingering mysteries surrounding their separation. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, life after divorce, Scientology, and the untold truth behind their split. After their high-profile divorce in 2001, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman took very different paths, both professionally and personally. While the public remained fascinated by their split, both stars made efforts to move forward, though lingering questions about their relationship continued to surface. Over the years, Kidman has spoken openly about the challenges she faced during and after her marriage, while Cruise has largely remained silent on the subject. Their contrasting approaches to discussing their past have only fueled further speculation, making their relationship one of the most scrutinized in Hollywood history. In various interviews, Kidman has reflected on her time with Cruise with a mix of fondness and realism. She has expressed gratitude for the good times they shared, acknowledging that their marriage was a significant part of her life. "I was so young when I married. I look back now and think, what?" Kidman told Red Magazine in 2016. "You look at Taylor Swift and I'm like, when I was 23, I got married." This reflection highlights how young she was when she became Cruise's wife, something she has hinted contributed to the challenges in their relationship. She has also stated that while she cherished aspects of their marriage, she felt a sense of loss after the divorce, describing how she had to rebuild her identity outside of being Cruise's wife. In an interview with Du Jour magazine, Kidman also shared how her intense love for Cruise once made her feel invincible. "I thought our life together was perfect. It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to my system," she admitted, reflecting on how blindsided she was when Cruise filed for divorce. She later described the breakup as devastating, but ultimately a turning point that led her to find her true self. A few years later, she met country singer Keith Urban, whom she married in 2006. Their relationship provided her with the stability and love she had been searching for, and she has often credited Urban with helping her heal from the pain of her past. In contrast to her time with Cruise, her marriage to Urban has been notably private and free from the intense media scrutiny she once endured. One of the biggest shifts in Kidman's life post-divorce was her growing distance from Scientology. After parting ways with Cruise, she distanced herself from the controversial church and has never publicly associated with it since. This separation reportedly contributed to the ongoing strain between her and her adopted children, Isabella and Connor, who remained in the Scientology community under Cruise's influence. While Kidman has always maintained that she loves her children unconditionally, their relationship appears to be complicated. In an interview with Who magazine, she addressed the rumors of estrangement, saying, "They are adults. They can make their own decisions. They have made choices to be Scientologists. And as a mother, it's my job to love them." Despite her words of support, her absence from key moments in their lives, such as their weddings, has continued to spark speculation about the depth of their connection. On the other hand, Tom Cruise has remained largely silent on his marriage to Kidman. Unlike Kidman, who has openly discussed her experiences, Cruise rarely addresses the subject in interviews. When Vanity Fair attempted to get his perspective on the divorce, he deflected, saying, "That's someone else's perception. I know what the truth is." His reluctance to discuss their past has led many to believe that he prefers to keep that chapter of his life closed. What remains clear is that Cruise has remained an unwavering supporter of Scientology, often crediting the church for his success and personal growth. His deep connection to Scientology has played a major role in shaping his post-divorce life, influencing his relationships, career, and public image. While the two have managed to live completely separate lives, they nearly crossed paths at the Paris Olympics, where they both attended events. Though the public was eager to see if they would reunite or acknowledge each other, there were no reports of an interaction. This near encounter highlighted just how far removed they have become from each other's worlds. In recent years, a viral meme suggested that Kidman celebrated her divorce from Cruise with an iconic paparazzi photo of her beaming outside a lawyer's office in 2001. The image quickly became an internet sensation, with fans joking that she was visibly thrilled to be free from her marriage. However, Kidman has debunked this interpretation, insisting that the photo was taken out of context. In an interview with Variety, she laughed off the meme and clarified that her emotions at the time were far more complex than the image suggested. "I was in pain. I was deeply sad at that time," she said. "That moment was just a random photograph." Despite their history, both Kidman and Cruise have seemingly moved on. Kidman has found love, stability, and a family with Keith Urban, while Cruise remains one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, continuing his high-octane career. Yet their past relationship remains a topic of intrigue, with many still dissecting the details of their marriage, their split, and the role of Scientology in their lives. While they may never publicly reconcile or provide full transparency on their breakup, their story continues to captivate audiences, proving that even decades later, their relationship remains one of Hollywood's most talked-about romances.